video, but I do not know. Okay, I think I might have enough storage. Okay, try and make this fast and hopefully be done. Okay, so I'm trying to finish up the people can't change video. Obviously, I kind of want on a rant now. But yeah, also, okay, you see the example, obviously, with family members, yeah, they're obviously taught and told that it's wrong and everything like that. We'll talk about the brothers in a minute. I'll finish that conversation. But yeah, to continue on that, you see it a lot of the time. What happens? Because they'll be like, "Oh, they changed." Like when you give a second place, and whenever people say they did change, they've almost never ever changed. They fake it. It's all fucking fake. It's like the people my parents pretend to be. I never recognized who they were and no idea who the fuck they were. It was so fucking inconsistent. There was no consistency in my childhood except for pain. So we're like, oh, this is real. This is reliable. This will always happen. Yes. Makes sense, and this is what we understand. Nothing else did. Because randomly, sometimes when you're sick, most of the time, they don't give a damn, and they're like, yeah, get over it. We don't care if you're in pain or you're sick. Sometimes, you're actually sick and things like that, they'll be nice to you, and you're like, oh my god, you love me, and you care about me, and you take care of me, and you're nice to me, and you don't scream and hit me. And then you got, and then when people come over, they're also nice, because people are over, people are seeing, they don't want to do anything. It's always family, it's always a secret, never tell anybody. And obviously, everyone always told me, and have always had to explain to me over the years, and since I still blame myself for crap, or just relying on what they said, we don't fully still believe it, about it being abuse. As in, I was abused. Because we were taught what abuse was. I was taught rape was at a very young age. And you're like, yeah. And now I'm like, oh, I know why. And so you could alter it. You could twist it into your own making and be like, oh, we taught you what abuse was, so we can tell you that you're not being abused. And that you will never believe that you are abused, so you can never report us. Because you have to be drunk, and you can't be a Christian. You have to be drunk, and you have to curse. You have to curse. You have to be drunk, and you have to not be Christian. And usually you have to be like divorced or some trauma, and they always blame it on the trauma and crap like that. No. And I always also hate it for any criminals and crap. They're like, oh, here's a traumatic backstory. I'm like, that's trash. They had no fucking trauma. That's all fucking lying. And even if they did have any trauma, there's no excuse and there's no reason for them to doing it. There's no sympathy. You don't need to sympathize with the enemy. It's so fucking stupid. And I don't think it's clearly said enough because they clearly made documentaries around it and they keep pushing it. It was a good idea, they made the documentaries, because they're always, they always make the bad guys, they're like, oh, disfigured face, and, ugly, and crap like that. They always make them distinct, and they make them look so different and strange, and, the weirdo, and all of that crap. And that's not the case. You're like, no, it was a normal dude. He just liked to kill people. You don't gotta be strange, you don't gotta be mentally ill, you don't have to have any fucking problems, you don't have to have trauma, you don't have any of that crap. You got fucking bored, so you decided to murder people. And so you did. Okay. And now you're in jail for it. And someone caught you, so we're learning about you. Okay? You are no different than anyone else. It makes you no different from anyone else. You just made a different choice. And you got caught. And for the most part, for today, you'd be like, well, you didn't have TVs, you didn't have cameras and cops everywhere. So today, you're gonna get caught. Back then, you weren't going to. And they usually do something stupid a lot of the time in the stories and everything. They're like, oh, he ran a stop sign. Or he ran away from the cops when they pulled him over. With a speeding ticket or something. Or they didn't do their taxes, and so they get caught. It's because they do something stupid and slip up, and that was the reason they're caught. And they were never caught red-handed, for the most part. They were never caught because of their crime. The crime that got them convicted of murder, of being a serial killer. They never got caught for that. They got caught for some minor crime. They got caught for something else. Yeah. Okay. So there's all of that mess. Okay, and then me be distracted. Okay, and then obviously you're like, oh, give them a second chance or whatever. That's so yes. Oh, I remember. Okay, so I watched this because they have the whole debate of being like children should be tried and convicted as adults and crap like that, and being like, oh, maybe they're not menace to society. There's this like one kid, he went in when he was like 13, he served for a while because he killed one or two people. He was put in prison, and then he was like 23 when he got out, and then he went and killed more people, and so they had to put him back in prison. I'm like, duh. I'm sorry, he's not gonna change. They're like, second chance. It doesn't mean he's gonna fucking change. He's not gonna change. It's just not gonna happen. It's not. Especially when you didn't just kill one person. It's not gonna change. You're a killer. It's just what you do. And the whole being transphobe or being a killer, like, it doesn't identify. It's not all who I am. I'm more than that. But it's the one consistent thing you're always doing. So it's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing I need to know about you to avoid. It's the only thing everyone should know about you so they can look out for you and be like, okay, don't go near that person. They're dangerous. Yeah. And then obviously I experienced it obviously like with my parents all the time because they'd be like, oh, I'm nice to you a little bit, and then, haha, nope. Like when your parents when your siblings point things over and over again, they're like, oh, I'm gonna change. Or, oh, I'm sorry. And then they act nice to you for a little bit, and then they go back to their old ways. They don't give a shit. They're all faking. They're trying to give you lull you into a live security. Sus of security. I don't know what the fuck it's called, and I'm trying to say it, it's not happening. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, it is total BS. And the whole religion thing is also BS, because it's like, oh, love your neighbors. Oh, except unless they have sinned, basically. And they're also like, oh, you should love people and crap like that, and then but you're like, oh, but if they commit this crime, stone them. Yeah, they're all fucking monsters. Okay, and then, oh, also, with murders and everything, all that crap, the thing is, like, I'm sorry, but Christians, you share the same religion and the same God and the same beliefs as, you wanna know? Okay, almost all the criminals in prison. Yeah, so all the serial killers, all the murderers, all the thieves, all the liars, all the cheaters, all the rapists, all the molesters, all the predators, all the sex felons. Yeah. And then you also share all the beliefs with, obviously, all the conquerors and all the people who were like, I'm a missionary, traveled to other people, spread diseases, murdered them all because they didn't believe the same beliefs as you, and then obviously raped and stole their goods. It's all bullshit. Especially since, like, they're like, King Charles will give you money, and you will go out and explore, and you will conquer. And what do you do as conquerors? You literally do the same thing as that they were like, that they denied and they yelled about that pirates did. And that Vikings did. You just called yourselves soldiers, and obviously soldiers weren't that different at all either. All soldiers did the same shit. They're like, oh, but I'm a soldier, I'm a Christian, we're not all the same. Wow, there's one who's not. Wow, really? One? And that doesn't make any difference, because that one person doesn't do anything, it doesn't stop any of the other people, and they do not help anyone, they do not contribute at all. You do not help at all. You are useless. Completely and utterly useless. You have no purpose. I hate you, and I will always hate you. Oh, but I do understand why, like, my sister believes in it, and, like, some people, I get it. You'd be like, oh, the idea of someone, like, loving you unconditionally, you'd be like, yeah, whatever helps you get going. And, yeah, loving other people, nice idea, duh, but it's, like, nothing new, and you don't have to be Christian to have those beliefs, or those morals, or have morals, or be a good person. So fucking stupid. Anyway, or to not cheat on your wife and crap like that. Okay. But yeah, and then also, like, with bullies and crap like that, oh, you got in trouble, you got caught, so you're gonna change. Yeah, no, you pretend and you act nice for a little bit, and the minute they turn them back, or you relieve your real personality. It's who you are. You don't change. You bully people, and then you're like, oh, I've changed, I'm nice to you now. Don't believe it. I didn't. And I was right. I'm usually right. Assuming the worst, I'm usually right. That's just how it works. I was assuming the worst, and I'm actually usually right, so that's just how it works. Oh, and then there was the whole, and there's a lot of people, oh, and also, a lot of slavers obviously also believed in Christianity. They had the whole basis of also in racism. They're like, oh, since slavery was in the Bible, it backs us up and it supported us. Okay, they use it for everything. The Bible supports everything, don't you know? Don't you know? It supports murder. Don't you love it? It supports so many things. Oh, wait, but, obviously, loving other people's nice, and if, like, you'd be like, oh, someone loves me, and you need to keep you going, to not kill yourself, not hurt yourself, whatever, to be like, oh, I'm not alone. And then, obviously, I get why my sisters go to church. I don't know why they believe in it, but I get why they go to church. Especially since I was like, we were taught it, it's why we need to get rid of it and purge it. Because it was used as an excuse and as lies, and it was always used as evidence and to support all of their actions. So yeah, it supports abuse and rape and murder and stoning people and killing people. Yep. What are all the other sentences? Yep. Yeah. And it pretty much it supports racism, sexism, and then also it supported the conquerors because they're like, oh, you should teach others and you spread the good news. And in reality, they were just going places, and obviously you definitely saw it with, and also really don't get why, like, I get it a little bit, but I was like, for the most part, slaves just believed in Moses. The Christianity thing, I was like, I don't know why you did that. I get a little bit because then you can have your own church, so it's a safe place to be. And then also being Moses, you're like, freedom. That's nice. Teach that. So it's probably a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know why you kept the religion that kept you imprisoned. And that they were all like, oh, this supports what we're doing. And then also, I keep forgetting what it's called. But, you know, that's the war. You know, the giant war where Europe tried to take over the world. They were like, oh, we're spreading Christianity, and we're doing all this crap. We're doing Christians. We're doing God's work. So we must murder. and take over all the other nations and force them to conform with our beliefs. Yeah. And our way of the Bible is best and all that crap. And then whenever they translate it or teach it a different way or have their own version of it, they must be killed, imprisoned, and punished. It's great. Good job, Catholic Church. Yeah. Oh, it's not the escapades, not the campaigns, not the conquerors, not the conquests. May I remember? May I won't. I don't remember. Fuck. We're running out of time. Okay, and then the whole brother, he has a little girl, he might have a second one. So good luck with that. And he also obviously had girlfriends, even though he was doing crap with my sisters. And then also he obviously couldn't do it with my sister when she was 3 years old because he was too young. But he, cause she's only like 3 years younger than him. So, but, he likes 3 years olds apparently because, he